How's it going, YouTube? And welcome back to Devlog. This is episode 6, Outposts Part 2. In the previous episode of Outposts, we covered the outpost levels as well as reputation and the perks that you get from your reputation being leveled up and how to level up your reputation. If you haven't seen that, I recommend you go check out that video first, as that explains the fundamentals of the outpost. Here in the middle, we have the members list. So this is all the members that belong to this outpost or have interacted with it, as well as their reputation level. Today we're going to be focusing on specializations, or specs as I like to call them for short, because specializations I often trip up trying to say. So, how do specs work? If we look at specs is will work similar to reputation in the sense that defeating a Pokemon gives you a point to a certain spec based on the IV that the Pokemon yields. So Buffalant is either attack or HP. I'm not 100% sure. But if we do defeat it, we go. That should then add a point to, yeah, I think that's military. So that should add a point to our specializations. Specializations work similar to how Pokemon works when it gets EV trained, right? So we got Spec XP. This is the max that you can get at each outpost. Level 5, the levels do determine how high your Spec XP goes. Once that limit's reached, you can no longer level up any of your specs. The reason for that is because I want the outposts to be different, right? So different outposts in different areas would have different specs. So, for example, an outpost in the swamp, where more Pokemon that give out HP IV yields will spawn, the spec will naturally go more to medical. So over here, you can see everything is level 1, but I do have commands for that. So if I say that I have more commands than I care to admit, just give me a second here. Spec level, medical, let's say that's level 5. And if we look at the outpost, right, our medical is now level 5. The the specs, the different attributes of them dictate the different things that we'd get in the shops. So, for example, at level 5, with the medical, we get access to the additional potions, hyper and super. What we can do is go set up our spec level for, let's say, development to level 5 as well. And you'll see that that will give us access to more of the Pokeballs. So, the natural spawning villages around the world, those will be essentially like a base Pokestop. I know if we go too far away, I don't think anything's been leveled up here. Yeah, so this is all level 0. So, whoa, this is still the old Pokemon. Let me quickly go and refresh that. Edge core. Refresh. New shop. Bang. Cool. Oh, whoops, those guys are still hanging around. That's not a big issue. So then you can only really buy Pokeballs and the base items around the world and at outposts that the spec hasn't been leveled up. So different spec will give you different items in different areas. The further out you go, the further your ring is, the higher your outpost's XP will be, so that you can actually get more spec and you can get access to some of the better items. That's not the only way to gain spec, though. Where were we at spawn? If you do look at the outpost, you'll see we have contracts over here, which is essentially hunts. You can go and you can take on a hunt. Let's do Houndor for security, right? So if we quickly check over here, Our security is at 48 points. If we do this normal Houndor contract, we'll get 45 rep points and 18 spec. Right, that should be relatively close to us if I had space in my inventory. Let's do that again. Cool. Let's see where you spawn. Ah, there we go. Right, so they are bosses, so they are quite tough, but definitely rewarding. Easy way to gain reputation and spec points. There we go. So for this hunt, I got 18 security spec as well as 45 rep points and 10,000 Poké dollars. That's one way to do hunts. Well, that's the way you do contracts. There is another type of contract, which is the breaches. Breaches are raids, right? So this one is for research, and we get 45 spec, 45 rep, and 18 spec for this one because it's just normal, right? And that will make a raid appear. With the raids, there is normally a theme. So this one is, we can see over there, it's a water theme lobby. If we then hop in here, okay, that's still broken. Let me exit and come back. Redo that. The raids are a little bit buggy at the moment. I am currently working on that. That should be sorted like today. Okay. Let's go to Outpost. Check the status. Yeah, that's broken. So if we go and say stop, then we should be able to get a new one. Let me check. Okay, so we don't have a hunt available yet. As you guys can see, the hunts re-roll every half an hour, and then you'll get a different assortment of hunts for different specs as well. But for the sake of the video, let's just quickly refresh the list. That should give us another raid. So there we go. We got a hard military raid. That should be fun. Dragon themed. Interesting. Okay. So, right, that's worked now. Okay, cool. So let's take part in this raid. Obviously you can get friends to join in the raids, up to 4 people per raid. I'm just gonna solo queue this one with 3 randoms. Oh, I have Moonblast. Let me rather do that. Pretty sure I should one-shot it. Nope. Somebody else. Yeah, okay. Right. There we go. Okay, so then we've defeated the first wave of the raid. We get a chance to catch. I'm not really going to catch right now. So in a minute, the next wave will start. Gives you a bit of chance to go heal, catch the Pokemon, do whatever you need to do. Raids will be multiple waves, so multiple people can take part in them. Losing a raid doesn't mean that the raid is over. It means that you can keep going. You can get different Pokemon and retake part in the wave. However, your Pokemon will die in here, like everything else, everywhere else. However, you have a 5-minute cap to beat a wave. So once the wave starts, you can take part in it as many times as you want. But after 5 minutes has expired, the raid will then or the contract for the raid will be failed, and you'll have to do a new one. So with a hard raid, that's 3 stars. It goes up to 5 stars, obviously. Then 3 stars should be 3 waves. 3 waves of 3-star monsters, Pokemons, should I say. Okay, cheers, dudes. Thanks for nothing. Cool. That is the second wave. Done. The next wave will take a minute again. Um, you don't get awarded per wave, you get awarded for completing the entire contract. However, every single person that takes part in the raid in any of the waves will get the rewards, being your reputation and spec. Cool. Now we'll just wait for that final wave. While we're waiting for that, if you guys do have any questions about anything to do with the specs or the outposts in general, just pop a comment down below, and I'll definitely let you guys know what the answers are to those questions. Come on, clean up while I'm here. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And it's another Dino. Not 100% sure, actually. I'd say Dino. Okay, cool. And there we've completed it. So you can see we get 28 military spec XP as well as 70 for our reputation. If we now do go take a look at the outpost interface, we can see that in military we got the points over there, as well as we got some points in our reputation as well. All right, that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to cover today for specs. Like I said, please, if you do have any questions, please pop them below. And stay on the lookout for the Discord server that's coming soon while we gear up to get multiple people onto the live server where my mods are currently live, and we're testing them out and building builds for the different structures that we're placing. Both of these were done by my friend Dylan. He does a lot of building for me. Yeah, so shout out to him. What a legend. Cool. Thanks, guys, for watching. And as always, like and subscribe.